Guten Tag, Guten Abend, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's me, Emily Jane. I'm going a bit insane because this is the fourth time I'm trying to record this video now. Hello, so today we are here at Cologne, Eiffel Yard, going down to Koblenz, Lutzel Yard with this pair of our rail services Vectrons. 193, 813, and I think it's 813 on the back as well because the way the numbering on these works. Yep. Well, I'll explain the numbering issue as we go. So this is the RSSLO Vectron. One of my personal favourites to drive around in, actually. So what we'll do is we'll prep the cap and talk a bit more about the Vectron as we go. So what you do is put the reverse to forward. I've already enabled all the safety systems, which is Shift A, Control, numpad Enter, Shift, numpad Enter. And we're going to set our departure speed of 40 km/h on the AFB. Let the brake off. Do a quick blast on the horn, let everyone know we're moving off. And take a bit of power. Come on, we got this. So yes, we're going to put a bit of power on and go at 25% to start off with. And get moving. So this is a nice fast run today. So we're going to probably spend more time talking about the Vectron and, you know, comprehending it a bit better. I'm going to clear that since we've got proceed aspect on the signals. Clear the CFA. CFA catches me out a little bit more on this train than it usually does, because in most trains it's a quick press and this is a press and hold. But it's fine. So it's a 40 km/h start speed, as I say, leaving the yard. And when we join the main line over there, well, about down there somewhere, we go up to 100. But then we go back down to 60 because we merge with another route, which is the line down to Koblenz. To give you a quick idea of the route map for tonight's journey, or today's journey, I'm not sure if it's tonight for you guys yet, let me know. We are currently here, heading down here, and it's in this area that the line merges that we have to slow down for, I believe. And then we continue all the way down to Lutzel Yard, which is in this area here. After Lutzel, it'll be in the next video. We'll probably be proceeding on our way. Look at that. It's time for the hammer to fall. Right, yes, we'll be doing a ice train probably from Koblenz down to Frankfurt, which will be good fun. So yes, not really much to... Well, I'm going to get past the restriction before I start talking about the train and get lost in everything. Now that we've joined the main line, I'm going to double tap our Roadrunner so that we know when it's safe to accelerate. I'm going to BR146, 146 coming the other way. Oh. And that's it, so... let the train accelerate. We are going to get, we're going to have to acknowledge that signal, so that'll drop us, but actually we might as well just put 85 in the window, because we'll get... yeah, it's fine. So after this, the next signal after this will be dropped down to 60. So we need to be aware of that in our minds. So I'm going to acknowledge this signal. See, 85. We'll get up to 85, then we'll just throw it straight down to 60 and let the rheostatic brakes take us down to 60. Yeah, there's the signal ahead. So we'll just throw the rheostatic braking on. Interestingly, I believe the Abula's on the left-hand side on this train, which unfortunately isn't implemented, which is fine. Okay, I may have overestimated that signal positioning. It's fine. We can also clear out of restricted monitoring. Yeah, I dropped it a little on the early side, but it's that signal there, I believe. That restricts us. It's always better to be slow a little sooner. I believe we are wrong line running through this station, so I'll go quick. One turn of the horn. Yeah, there's a 60 restriction. Hello, Mr. Trax. That's a BR187. So this is the Siemens, that's the Bombardier. I'm not sure that the tracks have been deployed on intermodal trains, but I just... back in the day, Train Simulator used to do a lot of putting BR101s on everything in Germany, which... And I'm now just a bit allergic to seeing 101s everywhere. So I went... This is a copy of the cargo carrier to Koblenz scenario that comes with the BR266, but I just duplicated it and swapped some of the locos out. So for example, our train's supposed to be led by a 266. I put some Vectrons on the front instead. Just because I prefer... So there's our 160. So in the type of wagons we have on the back are the Siggers wagons, which are intermodal flats, obviously, and you know, as a result, and their top speed is 120. Our loco's top speed is 160. Some are cleared up to as much as 200 kilometers an hour, but this one is 160. Yeah, I'm going to go now. So we can go straight up to 120 now. And let the train accelerate. And our next restriction is around 20 kilometers. So, time for the cab tour. So the 193 is a fairly simple cab, which I like. I got climate controls down here. PZB clear, acknowledge. No, PZB override, clear and acknowledge. Emergency brake plunger, pantograph up down, main circuit breaker. AFB controls. That is the Ebola system. That's the radio system. Power brake lever. So obviously it's fully forward now, which gives us full power. Theoretically, right now it does. That's why we're rocketing along. After that we've got obviously fire controls, which not on simulated for obvious reasons. Door controls if we were working with a passenger train. Sanding, parking brake, headlight controls, cab light, which is quite a nice system where what you do is you tap it forward, then to get rid of it you tap it forward again, which I like that. That is nice and clean in my opinion. So it's just, yeah, keep an eye out on the way. So that's a 101 with the one of the driving trailers on the back. Nice. Reverser, which is buttons based on this. Got the horn control, spacebar and the B key. Contact key, brake overcharge. Then on the main screens, so obviously got the speedometer. The yellow diamond indicates the AFB position. AFB is a bit like cruise control. PZB and C for data is displayed in this area. That's indicating how much power brake we're putting down. So we've got, you know, about 30 kilonewtons of power going in to accelerate the train. Then you've got how much power we're getting, so we're getting 15 kilovolts AC. That's replicated down here because we're on the 15 kilovolt system. That's all that's simulated on there. Door is simulated. Interestingly, you can only open the window from the outside. So that's why it's closed today. Yeah, that's most things. Wiper controls are in here somewhere as well, but obviously it's a gorgeous day, so we're not going to need it. That's the cab with the Vectron, nice and clean and simple. It also has a nice sort of back panel in this area, which is your battery controls, engine room light, park brake release, park brake set, and headlight controls. That controls your clusters, so that's automatic, that's all off, that's markers, that's for headlights. There we go. I am going to take the FOV off again. I was just toying with the idea of keeping it on, but I don't like it. I think it's nice when you're playing by yourself because it sort of simulates human perspective. Because obviously, you know, you can focus on the distance, but if you do, you're not going to be able to read the gauges particularly well. So, you know, I understand why it's there, but I don't like it, basically. We have the road. On that's a repeater signal, but basically says we have the road. I always like to give a tone on approach to signals. Sorry, pedestrian crossings, especially when you're on a freight train that's moving reasonably slowly. You know, we're doing 40k below the speed limit, so most of the passenger trains are going to be going substantially faster than us in this sector. Ooh. Yeah, apart from that, we've got, brake controller, obviously. So this, when we put this into brake, that's rear static only. This is air brakes only. Fairly simple. Looks like an MRCE loco coming towards us. It's in black. So they seem to be the two main sort of leasing companies, MRCE and Railpool. Meow. And he's on some intermodal flats as well. A beep on the horn. Again, that's swapped out as well. The majority of the AI in this has at least one part of it swapped out. So to give you an idea, 87 is the marker that we sort of start breaking at for the sidings. So yeah, 66 kilometers to go. And most of it, we do have a couple of points where we drop the speed down, but especially with two Vectrons on, it's going to be very manageable, very easy to do. Ooh. So yeah, I'm actually having a really good day today. I've got, tonight it's what, 10 past 3 already, not bad. So I start in, like, what, 18 hours I start a new job? That's pretty cool to me. I consider myself exceptionally fortunate to have a job. So I'm going to be dropping down to a video every 2 days. So actually you'll probably see this as I'm probably about to clock off my first day at my new job. Which, I'll probably record a video tomorrow night as well, which will probably be the ice going down from Frankfurt to Koblenz. I might jump back to the UK and do a British route learner. Depends what's on the schedule. It might even be farms. Actually, no, farms and roleplays on the schedule, which I'm considering. It did reasonably well view-wise. I'm considering moving it to professional farmer cattle and crops, which is a bit more simulatory. And Farm Sim 19's good, but I'm trying to figure out a way to make it a fun series, because Seasons is great for the realism, but part of doing a roleplay series is I'm sort of setting it up like I would 5M roleplay. So there's a scene that I'll have a scene idea, I'll go ahead and do that, and then that's what you see as a video at the end of the day. To give you an example, I was on last night. What scenes did I do last night? I did. So I did a trespasser who fled the scene before cops arrived. So I've got myself boloed basically. They didn't catch me. I drove around for like a good 20 minutes afterwards, just like doing stuff in the city, hoping a cop would catch me. They didn't. That's a good bit of roleplay, because they're not. You're not always going to get a scene fair to on a play as an LEO. But yeah, basically. Right, 5k on 2 minutes, start thinking about slowing down, and then I did. So I'd been had the drink spiked, so was sedated, and cops had medics on Seago. What's the situation here? Because I've been trying. I tried to give them a bit of variety, so I did. One of my characters had sepsis, which fairly uncommon condition in fit and healthy adults, but it can happen. I try and do the stuff that isn't the sexy traumatic injuries. I try and give them a bit of a challenge, to make them think about what's the person's body indicating. Heightened temperature, heightened BP, heightened pulse. That's the body's struggle. Got some sort of damage. Is fighting something. Low, drastically low BP, there's probably a leak somewhere in the system. i.e. internal bleeding, which of course not ideal.
FIFA.
27.8, so yeah, we'll go around 2k minutes to think about breaking to 60. I'll probably break a little before, I'll probably break around 29.5, even though my notes say 30, because remember I was struggling to get it down in time. So yeah, this is for the Bond station, which has a bit of a weird track layout.
FIFA.
28k, so I've got around 1k until we break. Yeah, there's very little in the way of notes. You know, it goes from 33, we then lift up to well, the speed limit goes to 160, but again, we're restricted to 120. Because we take these videos seriously. Yes. Okay, we can see that signal, so I'm gonna start putting the that on. Oh well. It's time to go down to 60 anyway. Yep. Time to go down to 60.
FIFA.
So it's this next signal we'd hit the 60 out. I like this. I like stations where you've got like lines that, you know, converging, that obviously been built up. It's just different, you know, and that's something I feel like you don't get a lot. You know, at least in the UK, it just, yeah, there's, you know, environment art has a big part to play in train sim design, because you can, this feels so different to a British route. Again, I'm down to 60 a bit soon, but honestly, I don't care. I'd rather be down at 60, you know, a couple of seconds ahead, than be, you know, late slowing. 60 coming up. Crap. Completely forgot to acknowledge that. So that is actually something, I'm going to leave that in as a teachable. So, as we come to a stand and I look embarrassed and give that 187 a wave. So, why is that a teachable moment? I saw that signal, I slowed down for that signal, but I didn't acknowledge it on PZB, because my brain went, that's an amber signal, cool, I know it's an amber signal. Oh, I can de-sprung them, that's nice. So yeah, that, you know, that's a teachable moment in my opinion. My brain went, no, that's fine, you don't need to do anything about that. Yeah, just shows. So yeah, we get a 60 sort of coming at the platform here pretty much. Unfortunately not signposted. But this is roughly where it came into effect when I was driving. And this is Bond Station. That guy was standing far too close to the edge of the platform. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge this one. Leaves us within that 85 restricted monitoring. So you can see a rung line running at the moment. We're going to fairly immediately jump over onto the right, which is on, which is the way we should be continuing from here. You can see, oh, you know, within. So as soon as we join, I believe we're good to. Oh no, it's passing this. My apologies. So it's, you know, less than 2k. We've been doing that 60 limit for. So I'm actually going to override that and go and do that. But we also know the train's around 400 meters long, so that was 32.2, so 32.6, sorry. So we can accelerate at 33, which is here. Sorry, crash. How long was my train? Yeah, 410 meters. So yeah, we can accelerate now. Up to 120 we go. Interesting building up there. That's obviously a case of DTG could, you know, there'll be a large logo on that rooftop, and DTG just couldn't get the brand rights for it. See? I know you got cut out there. The last Sifa, she was about to say springs, and as soon as she says that, you're in emergency, mate. Vectron. So the Vectrons are locomotives made by Siemens, introduced in 2010 at Inotrans, with 4 prototypes: a diesel, a multi-system, and both AC and DC electric power. The diesel version was replaced in 2018 by a dual mode loco, which is powered by electricity on electrified sections, and then can be switched to diesel mode on non-electrified sections, which is really awesome in my opinion. The Vectron series is reconfigurable and modular with a Bobo wheel arrangement. It's intended as a successor to the Eurospectre family of locomotives. A more affordable and more basic version is called the Smartron, that was introduced in 2018. Quick facts. So it's fits the standard 4 foot 8.5 inch gauge, and they've also made versions for the 5 foot 5 and 21.3. So okay, I'm going to say this the easy way. 1,520 millimeter Iberian gauge. Wheel diameter, don't care about that. Length is 18.9 meters, with a weight of between 80 and 87 tons, which is mad. So yes, our next speed is 44, is a 100 limit. So we got 8k. It's electrical systems. It can take 1.5 kilowatts DC current, 3 kilowatt DC current, 25 kilovolt AC, 50 hertz, 15 kilovolts AC, 16.7 hertz. This varies all over Europe. So I remember I was doing research to build scenarios in the Czech Republic. For example, Ostrava, which is where I'm going to be going hopefully very soon, and doing a run from Ostrava Kunčice up to French Airport Radhoštěn station with a rather old diesel. You know, that there they have a 3 kilovolt DC current. So you will be on a non-electrified track, hence the dieselness. But you know, it's interesting to see the details there. So once again, the maximum speed, as I mentioned I believe earlier, is between 160 kilometers per hour and 200 kilometers per hour, depending on the version. So that's 99 miles an hour and 120 miles an hour. Power output is between 7,000 and 8,600 brake horsepower. So as you can see, we are going to be, you know, we've got what, 14,000 horsepower towing this today, which I just find a bit cray-cray. Bit crazy. That Vectron over there is struggling. Yeah, I think he must have stopped for whatever reason, and he's trying to get back moving again. He's barely moving. Yes, Vectrons are operated massive. I sort of always think of these as fangle new trains. They're not. There was a charity lash-up of them, and it was like 18 different operators contributed locos to the year for it, and it was like an 18 vehicle lash-up of electrics, which was just mad. Yes, so I say it's yeah, me room. Yeah, got 3k until we need to drop the speed down. The Vectrons I really like. You know, they see, we've got springs on, so we need to reset the power, put the power back on, and train's happy as Larry. But we've now got 44.3 is where the speed, is where there's 100, so we'll drop down at around 40, 43 straight. You know, give it plenty of time to slow down. Yeah, I'll drop it down probably now, because that'll be about a kilometre, I believe. 43 straight, as I said. We'll go down at 100. So just like the rheostatics taking over. Got the 100 warning there, which I'll acknowledge. Even though there's no magnets. Just every time I see a warning like that, I acknowledge it. That way I don't get penalty braked. I'm not going to subject you to the audio of those whackings because it sounds terrible. So we're now within that 100 limit. Quick stretch. And you can see we're now joining the Rhine River, which we follow pretty much all the way to Frankfurt. Some river traffic there. Yeah, for the Huddlers run from Frankfurt, sort of Koblenz to Frankfurt, and between doing it in with one of the SUX trains, the 425s, the Stadlers, which I've got to say, I saw a brilliant video when I was doing research on Koblenz station for a scenario. A British train spotter arrived on a Stadler Kiss, which then coupled to a Stadler Flirt, and his line was, as the train's pulling out, it was words to the effect of, here we see one of the few times a flirt leads to a kiss. Yeah. It's just terrible names in my opinion. Yeah. I may have to do that if I ever get a partner. Like go like down to GA or wherever and get on one of the trains and be like, we're flirting on a flirt. I'm easily amused. Yeah, so the speed limit goes back up to 120 at 49.8. So for us, we need to wait until the 50 kilometre mark until we can accelerate. Because I say, no, correction, we need to wait until the 50.2 kilometre marker because we're 410 metres long-ish. One of the complaints I have with this model, which I'll do, or with the wagons on this, I'll show you. This is stock out of the works DTG sounds. It's just, you can hear, when you get closer, you hear a lot better. And you hear a sound clip in. And then, yeah. You know, you hear the sound clip in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out as the wagon passes. I believe they're actually Skyhook Games products, so I'm going to blame Skyhook for that. So yeah, one of the things I've actually been sort of struggling with after I left Dovetail was to find what the right level of criticism was to have of the company. Because obviously I worked there, and a lot of the staff there I still consider friends. And I still have, there's no one there who I don't respect, put it that way. You know, so that's one part of it all. And the other part is, you know, being fair to the community. Because my channel's blowing up this last month. You know, I went from, well, I got 20 subs in a month, which is crazy. This channel's been going for more than a year. And I went from like 40 to 60 in a month. Oh no, 40 to 50, no, 30 something to 50 something in a month. Which is mad. You know, it's, yeah. It's statistics I try not to watch. Just because, you know, in part, 56 subs is crazy, right? Imagine 56 people standing over your shoulder watching you play a computer game. You know, that's a bit weird. And that's kind of cool at the same time to me. But it's, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to try and keep the video every other day going. I am trying to vary my content. I am trying to learn some American stuff. I got the Skyhook Games thing. It's not Skyhook, Searchlight Sims, ACS 4400, which is immense. I've got a couple of bugs I found in it already, but it is what it is. I believe this is from Markin Station. Quick blast on the horn as usual. Yeah, remarking. So, that's been sort of the main stuff I've been picking up on. But yeah, I've been trying to vary my content and try and be sort of not overtly critical, but I've developed for Train Sim 2020, Sonoris 2020, and done a little bit of route building in my time. It was basically a project I started but never finished of foliaging the entire East Mids Coal route with nicer words, with nicer foliage, and going to replace the track with AP track, and fix the Sentinel. But I've just then never got around to finishing, and I lost it after reinstall. So I don't really. So I've done that, and also developed for Train Sim World. So I've got a bit of an idea of what can be done, and that's why things like Rivet's Isle of Wight route. Lately, what I'm seeing with Rivet is sort of low effort content being pumped out at a high price. Things like 1999 for the Isle of Wight route. I don't see that as being a good development. What would have been a good development would have been, a good Train Sim World route, in my opinion, right, would be something like Northeast Rails, which is what I've been helping create some scenarios for. Because Northeast Rails is sort of around 30 miles-ish of track, or, even sort of the Tyneside area. It's about sort of 30 miles after you've added it all up. You've got plenty of industry. If you were to create stuff for it, you could create wagons, which could then be reused in other routes that you make in the future. And unless they're planning to do some sort of London Underground route next, that they're going to use 1938 stock on, they can't really reuse any of the assets they've made. And that's why I think that, I'm going off on a tangent now, but it does, it just frustrates me seeing stuff and like that, and I try and be critical and say, look, I've used these tools, yes, they're publicly accessible, but I can tell you that's not done well. Things like the 204, there were modelling bugs in that I can't really comment on, but things like, the gameplay, I could go, that's done weirdly. That's not the right philosophy, stuff like that. So you've got a 110 at the 70 marker. This journey has flown, in my opinion. Definitely has flown. I do like the Vectrons. So we're sort of running around 10k faster than we would if we were in the 266. Because the 266 is limited to 110. Oh, what's the BR266? Sorry, limited speed, or limiting speed. Researching this whilst I'm talking to you now. It's the BR Class 66, and then it's the EMD Class 66 on the continent. Quick facts. $120 as well. Okay, so actually, okay, cool. So it's actually no faster than us because 120.75. Duh. So yeah, we're running at exactly the same speed as we would have been on the 266, just accelerating a bit better. It's a nice drive though. I definitely like it. It's doing freight has a really sort of certain relaxing, element to it. That you're running a bit slower.
FIFA.
And I mean, with some of the easiest scenarios Dovetail have made, they're reasonable length, but you're not chasing ambers all the time. The German railways have got such a great freight thing going on. In the UK, we pretty much gave up our freight after Beeching. After the late 90s when Sweetlink shut down. Which, I mean, I understand why it shut down. It wasn't profitable. But, the freight industry's dying to death in the UK with the railways. It's all gone to trucks. Quick blast, since we're approaching a quiet rural station. I'll do a proper drive-by for you. Bad basic. Hear that? That's the audio issue I was talking about. Also, I thought it was the track I was on. Look at that. Yeah, we need to report this wagon to the yardmaster because that suspension's doofed. I believe is the phrase people like to use when they don't want to swear. Doofed. Yeah. Those are Skyhook wagons. So I think I'm not sure if that. Yeah, I think they were included in the route, but I also had the packet externally to that. So yeah, I had a lot. Yeah.
FIFA.
Whoa. That didn't happen last time. Yeah, so there's an Ice 4 ahead, and I placed the 3D Zug Ice, but I placed it in IIMA, so I'm surprised that popped up. That's a scripting issue. Nothing to do with our safety systems, but yeah. Beat on the horn. Passing through a built-up area. 65, 69 is our 110 warning. 69, sorry. Ooh, what's that there? It's a 140. We don't care about it. We're only doing 120. Got some fells. I think they're false wagons. I'm not sure. Look like quite old models. So I'd say they're fells. Just that profile from the back caught me off guard. 66.2, yeah, 69.0.
FIFA.
Don't you dare springs on me. Rude. How, I hit that twice as well. It's a nice drive this. I'm really enjoying it. I feel really relaxed actually doing this. I think I'm also relaxed because of obviously, the news about the job, but yeah. I had taken a couple of days off content creation before this because one day I just didn't feel like making a video, and I know if I don't feel like making a video, the video's going to be crap. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to make the video today, I'll make it another time. And yeah, there's our ice. That tripped us out before. Yeah, that's the lovely Rhine River. In this area here, would have been a massive target for bombing during the Second World War. That ice is stopped in a very small station. I think I may have done goof when I replaced that. Oh well. It is what it is. We'll look over here as we pass it.
FIFA.
We'll say he's made an emergency stop for a medical. There we go. There's our 110 warning, so I'll just pop that in the bag. And there's the ice. Lovely trains. As I will hopefully be driving that in a future video as well. I'm going to replace one of the, again, when there's sort of scenarios for built for routes that I want to use, or you know, or runs that I want to do, I will just usually rob a dovetail scenario and swap in the train that I want to drive for it. It's a lot easier and quicker. For example, that Doncaster Leeds video I made, you know, that scenario itself took me another hour to make. And if you think, you know, I'm trying to churn out quite a few videos at the moment to get myself ahead because of work. You know, if I'm churning out, you know, looking to do 2 or 3 videos a day, 40 minutes to drive through it to learn it, 40 minutes to record the video, and an hour on top to make the scenario, whereas this took me about 15 minutes to replace everything. A lot less, maybe 10. Got a new bell wig as well, which is kind of horrendous, but it fits, and it's a wig at the moment, so at least I can sort of be bell for videos and stuff. I'm hoping to get a new wig very soon. Yeah, it's incredibly vinily. I'm looking over it there now. Okay, got the 130 there, which means we can go up to 120 in about 400 metres, so just around this corner really. That'll do me. Up to 120 we go. Follow right away. Sifa. I also like the voice of this train. Some of them got like quite an angry German voice. She sounds quite chill when she's talking about Sifa. They're like, Sifa, Sprung. It's like another 101. I left a couple of 101s in. I just, you know, get a bit stressed out when it's a 101 every other train. As far as I'm aware, there's not that many of them. That's how I'll answer that question. Cool. So you've got a 120 warning, next 75.2, again we're not above that. I wrote these notes in case I decided to swap out some faster wagons, but to be honest, this is a respectable pace. I also quite liked it, I quite liked it in freight relearning. Also for the age of this route, it's you know, it's aged quite well. Yeah, this area's a bit barren, but I like the feel of the route. And I think the train helps that a lot, but yeah. I'll acknowledge that just to be on the safe side. First thing I want to do is be tripped out for a speed warning that I'm not going to brake for. So yeah, 76.2 is where the 120 comes in. And after that we can think about slowing down. So we've got 87.7. So we need to brake it. Yeah, so when we pass 85.2, we start slowing to 40. To get a 40-10 in the yard, we also get a red signal we might have to stop for. If they've got traffic coming north out of... northward. Out of Koblenz. Then we have to cross over. So we have a Ebola up here. So actually the format I wrote my notes in is incredibly similar to that of the Ebola. I just specify the point at which we get 44.3 is 100. The only other thing you get on Ebola is it also tells you where your level crossings are. So if you had to come to a stand or for whatever reason, and let's say at an on-train fire for example, and you needed to get fire engines quite close, you could stop on level crossing and fire could come. Things like that. Which are rather cool. Got a cooling tower up there. 120 limit, so it's fine. So yeah, down there, that's some sort of marshalling yard.
Tiefer.
Looks like it's on a construction site. What's that yard over there called? Milheim Kalik? Kalik? Not sure. Oh, Kalik. Licking cars. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Tiefer.
We're approaching Koblenz now. 7k out, which is what, like 4 miles-ish? You know, it's 75, that's only a couple of minutes that you've got left to put up with me for today.
Tiefer. Tiefer.
I think I was triggering the PCB whilst moving there. Annoying it, at least. There we go. I love the Rhine Valley. I think it's the Rhine Valley that I like the architecture of more than the architecture of Germany, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing Koblenz, Frankfurt. Actually, I'm looking forward to that 'cause I've got some 3D scenarios for the ICE one, which I think, yeah, the ICE 4 was a mistake to place in this. It should have been a nice one, but it is what it is. This was the first route learning stuff I did in my new notepad, which I bought, which is, I'm decided to make it my train sim things notepad, and I sort of bought it to treat myself for starting the new job. Yes, this is what you do to treat yourself when you're an adult, and it's spiral bound and says "Don't quit" on the front, which I really like. Sort of my new motivation, I guess, for pressing on. Oh dear God, I've lost my notes. This is problems.
Tiefer.
Yeah, so we need to slow down to 40 now. It's about 1.7k until the 40. I got you there, Sifa. God damn you. There we go. Found my notes again. No longer panicking. Don't you dare. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the strength of the Sifa system. It's difficult to operate, shall we say. We've got PZB that we need to acknowledge here. You can see we're approaching a red aspect, so we're going to keep it nice and slow. So we're going to approach that. Yeah, I got some reds there. We can approach them nice and defensively. So again, I did the notes for this with one Vectron, and then I doubled it, and you can see the braking force with two of these is phenomenal. That's one of the things I don't like about the, whilst looking in the cab, if you look ahead, you can see the signals are still perfectly legible, which I don't think they should be in my opinion. I tabbed it last time, that's when it gave me the road, so yeah. That's not too badly negative, minus 514. That's pretty awful wheel slip. Go bust on the horn as we approach. Hopefully that's the yard tower, so they should see us. Yep, time to slow down and stop. Slightest amount of practical brake and bring the train to a stand.
Sifa. 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 Bank.
Shut up, Sifa. No one likes you. There we go, got the road. See, as soon as we drew up to it, we had the road. So I'm not sure if that's how that signal's triggered. There we go. It's fine. We're being stopped, we're allowed to continue. Beep. It's 40 km/h is our speed in this area. You can see Koln-Koblenz, which is our stopping point. 1.4k to the end of the yard area. Again, we stop. You know, we want to stop so the entire train's in, so we stop near the end of the end of the siding, where I think our locals are going to get taken off by the shunter. But that's not our problem. We'll just stop the train there, secure the cab, and do the train. Of course, we're ignoring this signal. It's again telling us we're approaching a red at the end of the siding. Beep to the tower, guys. Give them a wave, cheeky wave. Yes, I do. You know, when I talk about waving, I actually do like wave at the screen. Yes, I have lost the plot. Thank you for asking.
Sifa.
Thank you for noticing. Cool. I'm gonna add my power out now. Just leave the track coast. There we go. See, coasting. You know, we're going to start. The speed will slowly start to decay, but I'm not at all worried. And yeah, around this bend here,
Sifa. Sifa.
around this curve, you've got Koblenz, which is where we'll resume in the next part of our German Odyssey. I may do Koblenz Trier if I can bother to create a scenario for it, because that was going to be one for the TSG 425.
Sifa.
There we go, I'll just try and put the brakes in there.
Sifa.
There we go. Okay, we're going to set the reverse neutral, brake full, throttle off, neutralise the AFB, and yeah, we'll leave the headlights on because I say the rest going to be taking over from here. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did like the video, like, comment and subscribe. See you next time. Bye for now.